Hello everyone, my name is Sophie, also known as Chief Queef. Welcome back to another one of my silly yoga videos. This month we're going to be doing slow and strong. So I'm going to be using a couple kettlebells as well as a couple dumbbells. Feel free to grab those if you'd like, or you can just simply do the poses without them and just imagine that you're, using weights. And feel free to grab some yoga blocks as well. It's always useful to have yoga blocks with whatever practice we may be doing. So thanks for joining, and here we go. All right, folks, so what you're going to want to do is take your knees to the wide edge of your mat, your big toes touch, sink your heart down and your forehead down to the floor, and reach your fingertips as far forward as possible. This is child's pose. This one's real good for your hips and your guts. Know that it's completely okay to pass gas here. If you've ever felt nauseated and really crampy and you've got the stomach flu and you have to constantly get up to the toilet and vomit, try sitting in this pose. It's not going to stop you from vomiting, but it will ease the pain and tension that you may be feeling. 2 more breathers here. Breathe in here and start to lift yourself back up to tabletop position. We're going to do a few cat-cows here, everybody's favorite. Inhale, look up to the sky, dip your udders down. Exhale, arch your back, look down, tuck the chin and tailbone. Inhale, look up and get milked. Exhale, hiss like a cat. Going at your own pace here. With every cow position, you're really getting milked, and with every cat position, you're really getting territorial with that spine. Drawing your navel up towards the sky. Direct your fingertips to the wide edge of the mat here and start to warm up your wrists by rocking side to side, shifting weight into either hand. Start rotating your body over your wrists clockwise and counterclockwise. Maybe do some barrel rolls with your rib cage. Noticing the sounds of other people's phones without any judgments. Imagining your ribs scraping the inside of the barrel, scraping all that gunk from inside the barrel so that we can make Vegemite and spread it on our toast in the morning. Direct your fingertips to the top of the mat now and start shifting your weight, rocking onto your knees forward. Crown of the head is reaching as far forward. I'm using Ujjayi pranayam right now, so that's why I have no chin. Flipping your wrists so that the top of your hands meet the mat. Add a little bit of weight into them, but don't go crazy. Curl the toes and sit on your heels. Noticing the sound of phones in the room without any reaction. Stretch the feet. Clasp the hands together and start rolling the wrists. I still have no chin. Now take yourself forward, curl the toes, send your hips back for your first downward Snoop Dogg. Inhale, exhale, snoop. Pedal the heels out. Do what feels good here. Spark a joint. Keeping your fingertips wide, your drishti gaze in between your feet, and your tailbone lifted. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, empty the belly, and float or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. You're serving shepherd's pie on your sacrum. Exhale, step back into downward facing dog once again. Inhale, reach your leg up into the sky. Exhale, sweep it forward in between your hands. Resting your back leg onto the mat, lifting up, resting your hands on your front knee, but still engaging the core. You want to imagine that you have a pair of testes and you're slowly dipping them in a puddle in between your front leg and your back leg, feeling that stretch in the groin. You can use yoga blocks here on either side of you for support. Exhale, start to shift your hips backwards, lengthening the front leg and flexing the toes towards your nose, I suppose. Keeping the chest lifted here. Remember, if your hamstrings are too tight, you can always use blocks here. If you're a pussy, I'm just kidding. Please don't be ashamed to use blocks. Everyone is welcome here. I'm glad you're here. Making your way back into a lower lunge. Take your front foot outside of your hands and angle it at a 45-degree angle. Lift your back knee up off the ground and quick lizard lunge. You can drop onto your elbows if you'd like, or stay propped up on your hands. Take whatever variation you desire. Shed some skin, grow a tail, but most importantly, try to keep that back leg straight. Now rest your back knee down, coming back into a low lunge. We're going to try doing an archer's pose with a weight here. I tried using a kettlebell at first, and it started to work at first. Lifting the right weighted hand up towards the ceiling, looking up at the ceiling. Try to keep your crown align with your spine and try not to sink into the lower shoulder. Lifting yourself up through that left shoulder. Big deep breaths here. That kettlebell is going to lift you up off the ground, and then you're going to keep reaching that kettlebell towards the back of the room behind you, looking past your opposite shoulder. And I'm going to break my arm here, so I'm not going to use this kettlebell actually. That was a really dumb idea. I'm going to use a dumbbell instead. Reach for that dumbbell and try that once again. Inhale, reach that dumbbell up towards the sky. Start to take it back to the back of the room for a bullseye archer's pose. That was very hard. I'm not going to lie. That was a bit too difficult for me, but there was no pain. Did we gain? I don't know. Grabbing the weight with the opposite hand. Inhale, take it up towards the sky. Now, almost like you're taking a measuring tape and measuring a picture frame on a wall in front of you, you're going to reach that dumbbell back towards the back of the room. That was really hard, as you can see. Exhale, taking that dumbbell back down. Now start to take your back leg and turn it so that your toes are facing the long edge of your mat. Straighten your front leg forward and open yourself up for gate pose here. You know why it's called gate pose, hey? 'Cause I couldn't tell ya. Anyways, breathe into the side of your rib cage. The rib cage facing the ceiling, expanding it. Now sink that booty down onto the floor behind your legs. You have a folded foot in front of you, reaching for that opposing foot, breathing into the other side of the rib cage this time. Try to open your chest towards the ceiling while reaching your ear towards your knee. Here for 2 more breathers. Now begin to extend your folded foot out wide in front of you, so you're in a wide-legged sitting position. Now grip the floor in front of you and start to pulsate your feet towards the sky while keeping your legs straight. We are strengthening our hip flexors. Now moving into pulsating wide-legged forward folds. You can use a weight behind your head if you'd like, or you can simply use your hands. And we're going to exhale, kiss the ground that birthed you. Inhale, rising back up. Exhale, kiss the earth, giving gratitude for the soil. Inhale, rising up once again. And then exhale, just smooch it. Just smooch the floor. Mwah. Now, putting your stupid ass bell aside and just simply forward folding here, reaching as far forward as possible. Just reach the ground as much as you can. You don't have to entirely pancake it here like I am. The ground is still going to know you're grateful. It's still going to feel some love. Inhale, gently lifting yourself back up. Folding that same foot back in to the center. Then directing yourself towards the back of the mat and shifting into a plank position. Exhale, drishti gaze forward, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, lifting your hips back and up for yet another downward fucking dog. And take your dog for a little mosey around the park. Inhale, look forward and bend the knees. Exhale, hop, step, or float, or do a handstand at the top of the mat. Hell yeah, boy. Exhale. Now let's quickly revisit Snoop Dogg. Inhale, lifting your other leg, this time for three-legged dog. Sweep it forward in between your hands for a low lunge. Dip that imaginary schlong in the puddle. Ooh, little chilly. Ooh, just the tip. With every inhale, expanding through the crown of the head, and every exhale, sinking deeper and dipping that wiener deeper into the water. Exhale, thinking these pants make my bum look flat does not serve me right now. Exhale, taking your hips back for half Hanuman. You can curl the back toes. Keeping the spine lengthened, crown of the head drives towards the patrons that just walked through the door for a quick peek. Remember, you can always use blocks or other objects to help you out with stability in this pose. Pillows, bolsters, etc. You're not a pussy, I promise. Shifting forward again, we're making peace with the fact that these pants in this lunge make my bum look flat. And let's set ourselves up for a weighted archer's pose on the other side. Inhale, lift that weight up into the sky. Gaze follows. Let's try and not sink into that bottom shoulder. Squeeze that whatever little bum muscle you have left just a little bit here for 2 good old breathers. For karma's sake, not reacting to the sounds around us. Inhale, lifting up through that weight. Exhale, start to draw it towards the back of the room. Bullseye! And slowly start to make our way back to the floor because that was a difficult position, and I'm just glad we didn't try it with a kettlebell this time. Inhale, lifting that weight with your front-facing hand up towards the heavens. And let's start to measure the wall in front of us, posing like we are an Egyptian hieroglyph here. Exhale, taking it back down now at tortoise pace. Please don't hurt yourselves. Taking your front foot on the outside of your hands, popping that back knee up and setting yourself up for a lizard lunge. You can be on your elbows or you can stay on your hands and stick your tongue out like a lizard. And just an FYI, yes, there is still someone else in the room while I am doing this. Inhale, quick flying lizard, although I should have done this on the other side as well. So, monkey see, don't monkey do. Always do things on both sides. And here we go, gate pose on the other side, inhaling into your rib cage facing the sky. Exhale, sit your bum down behind your bottom foot, grabbing opposite feet with opposite hands and reaching, stretching over your straightened leg, rib cage up towards the sky. The top of your ear is trying to hook up with your knee. It's an absolute slut for your knee right now. And it's just reaching. Inhale, expand. Take your folded leg out wide in front of you, and then exhale, start to forward fold out in front of you. You do not have to pancake here, such as me. Sometimes it really just comes down to genetics. I was born with really open hips, which is actually kind of lucky considering I am a child brought up by divorced parents. Clasping the hands behind you, inhale, lift up, and then pushing the floor away from you, begin to lift your seat up off the ground, lifting up with the shoulders, even if it's just for a second. Fold your leg in again, and then lift yourself onto a plank position, facing the top of your mat. Exhale, chaturanga, baby. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, like a seal, like a sea puppy, sea lion. Ow! And then exhale, Adho Mukha. Yet again, another downward fucking dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, hop, step, or float to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. This is Uttanasana, not the Fenty fold. Inhale, halfway lift again. Take your peace fingers. Peace, man. Peace. Shake your booty a bit. And then grab your big toes. Lift and then exhale. Fold. Take your elbows out wide. Fold your lower ribs into your upper thighs. Padangustasana. With every exhale, fold in a bit deeper. Deep into the deep end. Dive in. Inhale, halfway lift, bend the knees. Start to lift your feet and slide your hands under your feet for Padangustasana. Release your feet, grab a hold of your elbows, and swing low. Sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I have a friend that sang that song for a high school project thinking it was good. It wasn't, but she's still gone far in life and living her dreams. Now slowly rising up, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lifting up through the front of the body, up the crown of the head, and rolling the shoulders back down the body with the exhale. Swing your arms side to side, hitting your side bodies, just getting a bit of blood flowing. Just checking my notes here because I forgot the next part of this sequence. Continue slapping yourself. Inhale, pull your pants up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Uttanasana. And then start to inhale, lift one of your legs up for a standing split. Maybe catch your lower ankle if you're up for it with both hands or one hand. That's a bit of a balancing act. Don't forget to breathe here. And then plant your hands in front of you. Try to kick up or float up into a handstand. Just give it a shot. See, I'm not doing it correctly. You don't have to either, as long as you're just taking risks here. Repeat this mantra. We are fine with failing. We are fine with failing. Inhale, lift your other leg up for a standing split. Again, I should have done this on the other side, but I felt my body called for super soldier real quick. and back to catching my ankle. And let's try doing a handstand on the other side. This side is even worse than my other side, but let's try it out. Oh, not bad. Exhale, relax. Now take a step back a couple feet. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Take your peace fingers, deuces, grab your big toe. Inhale, start to blossom your right hand up into the sky like a beautiful flower, keeping your head aligned with your spine, lifting up through the shoulders. Maybe reach for your lower hip crevice if you'd like. Or grab a dumbbell and try this Trikonasana as a weighted version, triangle pose. Arms are aligned. You're imagining you're pressed up against a wall behind you and you're the bullseye. Don't shoot. Exhale, take it back down. And then inhale, grab the weight with your other hand, reverse Trikonasana. Feel free to use a yoga block underneath your lower hand to balance yourself. Exhale, slowly drop that weight back down onto the ground and begin to pyramid pose. Fold over your front leg. Maybe take your hands back and lift your back leg up for whatever this is called. If you remember what this pose is called, drop it in the comments. Little counterbalance action. There we go. And then walk your hands towards the long edge of your mat. Pivot the front foot to match your back foot. Forward fold for Prasarita and twerk. If it's in your practice, I encourage you to shake what your mother gave you. And if your elbows reach the ground, try pressing up into Pincha, your asana. Exhale, float back down to the earth, and then slowly walk yourself over towards the other end of your mat. Bending forward for a nice pyramid pose. Do that funky pose that you did on the other side. Grab your dumbbell and do your reverse Trikonasana triangle pose. Looking up towards your dumbbell, lengthening through the arms. Exhale, bring it back down. And then regular, take your peace fingers, peace. Grab your big toe and regular Trikonasana. Bullseye. Your top hip drives backwards, while the crown of the head drives forwards. Slowly dropping the dumbbell towards the ground and stepping back into another downward fucking dog. This is the part where my father walks into the room.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Okay,
I'll see
I'll
you in
see
the
you
room.
soon. I'm almost done here.
Do a little vinyasa flow here if you'd like, or stay in downward dog, and then walk up to your hands. Pick the little dry skin from in between your toes. Don't forget to breathe while you do that. Now ragdoll yourself and slowly inhale and bring yourself up and start to swing your arms and smack the sides of your body once again. Now inhale, pull your pants up and ground through your right standing leg. Take your left foot to the top of your inner thigh and then reach towards the heavens. Crown of the head is lifted while the tailbone is driving down. We're doing tree pose here, and I'm just realizing that we could do this with kettlebells. So let's give it a shot. Now, bear with me here as we try to figure out together how we go into tree pose while holding kettlebells. Maybe put your maybe lift your foot with a kettlebell in hand while also taking your foot to your inner thigh and then lifting up towards the sky. Does that make sense? One more breath here, and then slowly, with control, releasing the pose. Put your kettlebells aside. Let's revisit that tree pose, same side, one more time, lifting up your branches, and then grab a hold of your toes with your opposite hand. Start to straighten that leg forward, keeping your standing leg straight. Your free hand reaches behind and your gaze follows, kind of like you're in a scary movie and you've heard something behind you. Now start to take your floating foot with your corresponding hand, stretch it out in front of you, and then take it to the side and look past your opposite shoulder. Bring it back forward. Let go of your foot. Keep your foot up there. Look, Ma, no hands. No hands. Point the toes. Breathe through it. Holding a little bit longer. And then slowly with control, take it back down. Wiggle the hips out. Loosen up those joints. Lubricate those joints. Now let's try this weighted tree pose on the other side. Maybe put your foot up towards your upper thigh first and then grab your kettlebells if you can do that. If you can bend down in tree pose and then lift up your kettlebells. You don't have to do this with kettlebells. You can simply do a tree pose and you can challenge yourself by closing your eyes. Take a deep breath. Turns out I stink. Exhale slowly with control. Drop your kettlebells to the ground. We're going to do tree pose once again on that side, on that same side. Lifting up through your hip socket, through the crown of the head. Slight tuck of the chin, and then grab your foot with your opposite hand. Reach backwards. You're in a scary movie. Ooh, what's that? What's that behind you? I heard something. And then take your foot with your corresponding hand, lift it up in front of you, and then to the side, looking over past your opposite shoulder, opening up those hips, and then bring it back forward. Let go of your foot. No hands. Ah! Lifting up through the chest. Keep holding, and then slowly with control, bring it back down, lubricate those hips, wiggle it out. Ooh, yeah, baby. Now inhale, reach up, lift onto your tiptoes, and then slowly with control, bend your knees, sink down while keeping your heels lifted. Meet the ground again, shift onto your knees, sit on your heels, stretch the bottom of your feet out. Maybe give them a little massage. Now lift your cheeks off your heels, standing on your knees, and start to clench your butt cheeks, holding on to your butts or sacrum while you head back into a camel pose. You can grab your heels if you'd like, and then exhale slowly, come back into tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, reach your hand towards the sky, and then exhale, thread that needle through your arm. Shoulder presses against the ground as well as your ear. Now this is going to be a bit hard to explain. Reach your opposite heel from your shoulder, take it back. Now your dead worm on a pavement looking arm is going to go behind you, beside your lower leg, and then you're going to take your other arm out in front of your torso and you're going to lift your feet up off the ground into a shoulder stand. Both palms are pressing against the floor. Bring it back down. Take your arms out in front of you while keeping your booty lifted. Quick dolphin pose. Back to tabletop position. Take your other arm towards the sky. Thread it through. Other side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. Thread the needle. That reminds me I have to sew a hole in the pocket of my boyfriend's pants. Opposite foot to grounded shoulder reaches behind. Take that arm, that grounded arm behind you, lift up into a shoulder stand. Palms are really feeling the ground here, stabilizing. Back down, quick dolphin pose once again. rippling the spine back into a tabletop position. Bend the elbows, keeping them glued to your side, keeping the hips lifted, and then slowly slug your way through onto your belly. Grab your feet behind you. Lift your feet and chest up towards the sky. Gaze follows. This is bow pose, not to be confused with boat pose, even though I feel like an absolute ship when I do this. Exhale, let go of the pose, and then slowly roll over onto your back for your final resting pose. Dead man's pose, corpse pose. Good night.